Hello everyone, I hope you've been enjoying the sunshine today. As promised, I'm going to do my first little bit of nutritional information for you, starting with talking about the glorious egg. So lots of us like feeding eggs to our cats and dogs, so should we be doing that? What's good about eggs? What's bad about them? I can tell you all about it. So first things first, if you're as old as I am, then you might remember Edwina Currie talking all about eggs giving us salmonella, especially raw egg. So should we be really worried about raw egg in our animals? The short answer is not from a salmonella point of view. If you use a DEFRA approved source, so that's like this little red line here that you can see on this lovely egg, then the chances of there being salmonella in that egg are very, 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 very small. If you're using an egg from your neighbour's chickens or some other backyard chickens, then it might be more of a concern. But generally, I'm not hugely worried about salmonella. So what are the good things about our lovely eggs? Well, eggs are a brilliant source of protein. They've got a really complete amino acid profile. In fact, they contain all of the essential amino acids. So they're the ones that dogs and cats need to eat, as opposed to ones that they can make themselves from other things. So great amino acid profile, brilliant source of vitamin B2, vitamin B12, of iodine, of vitamin D, and of selenium. Great source of all those things. Also a fairly good source of the other B vitamins, of iron, and just a really nice, tasty, cheap, cheerful, good food. Now, the yolks also contain good fatty acids and antioxidants, which can be really important in fighting off any sort of diseases and any kind of damage. The other bit of eggs, which is quite interesting, is, of course, the shell. So the shell is a really good source of calcium. If you don't want to feed your dog or cat bones and you're doing a raw or a home cooked diet, then the egg shell is a good alternative. A note of caution here is that in order for us to know how it's being absorbed predictably, you really need to grind it down into a very fine powder. If you're just feeding the shell as it is, we really don't know how much of that calcium is being absorbed. So occasional treat, fine, but if you're using it as the only source of calcium, make sure it's ground down into a nice fine powder. The other thing about the shell is that it's got this little membrane, which I'm not sure how well you can see there, that little membrane just along here, which you can see. Now, the shell membrane is full of the things that you find in joint supplements. So hyaluronic acid, glucosamine, lots of things like that that are really, really good for joints. So actually the membrane of the eggshell is really, really good. So should we be feeding raw eggs or should they be cooked? That's the other great question. Actually, the protein in egg white is better absorbed if it's cooked. So 50% of the protein is absorbed if you eat raw egg, or if dogs and cats eat the raw egg, and 90% is absorbed if it's cooked. So actually cooking is better. That also deactivates something called avidin, which binds the B vitamins. So if you're feeding raw egg white every single day, you might actually be binding B vitamins. It's not a good idea in dogs, especially if they've got any sort of gastrointestinal disease, but even in general, not to feed to dogs and cats every single day. So cooked egg is probably better, the exception being that if we want to be feeding this lovely membrane, then that should not be cooked in order for the collagen, the hyaluronic acid, the glucosamine to be structurally active. One last note of caution, there always is, if your dog or cat has chronic kidney disease, then we're really going to be wanting them to be on a low phosphate diet, and egg yolk contains a lot of phosphate. So don't be feeding egg yolk, especially not every day, if your dog or cat has any kidney disease. So that's it, all about lovely eggs. If there's anything else that you'd like to know about them, or you've got any comments, please let me know. Thanks, bye.